Hey, good morning, Viking families. This is Mr. Lundquist. I'm doing a podcast today because tomorrow's kind of a big day, actually. We have our survey is due tomorrow regarding if you want to come back in person in our hybrid model in February or if you're going to be staying all virtual. I'm going to talk a little bit today about that, put some meat on the bones there to maybe help you nudge you along and maybe help you make a decision if you haven't done so thus far. As I've stated before, on Monday and Tuesday will be A through K, and Thursday, Friday will be L through Z on the alphabet. And so what that'll look like, again, 8:05 to 3:25 students here in the building. Transportation will be running for those who need it, as it's asked in the survey as well. So learning will look very different, I should say. It will not be the same as it is now. It's also not going to be the same as it was in the spring. We've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of different principals from across the state, as well as kind of see what's worked, different, not worked, talk to teachers. I actually have a student advisory council that I met with yesterday to get some really good insight about kind of what's going well, as well as kind of showed them some different, like what different schedules look like and how does that sit with them. And then just conversations with students and neighbors and just people in the community to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. And so know that our schedule will be very much rooted in supporting those students who are here and want to get learning in. Class periods will be a little bit longer than 45 minutes as typical. There'll be more access time to our teachers, our student teacher access time. Might have two different opportunities for that, for students to reach out and get that extra support because they're not going to be in the building for 2 days. And so students are going to need to take advantage of that. And hopefully that will help those that are all virtual, or when you're opposite cohort, when you're at home, you don't feel like you have to sit there and sit in front of a computer for 8 hours, like staring at it. You'll actually be able to maybe go to class, have a break where you're in a break, but step back, maybe set up a meeting with a teacher, or just work on some homework, class, then a lunch, maybe some more time to work with a teacher, and then class or something like that. So just really be able to break it up for those that are home all day, that it isn't just 8 straight hours of learning where they're sitting there trying to take it all in. We most likely won't have all 8 periods in one day either. Just through feedback to be able to extend those class periods to make them a little bit longer, whether they're 55, 65, 70 minutes long. You can't fit all that in the day to also have some of those breaks broken up in there. And so classes will most likely be, you'll have kind of half one day, half the other day. Also try to reduce the number of transitions we have where every single student is in the hallway when it comes to safety. So that's a kind of a real rough idea of what that schedule might look like. We're still working on the nuances. I don't want to send something out that I have to send you a different one the next day because of maybe this passing time changed, and I'll send you a different one. And I don't want to have 5, 6 different schedules out there. I prefer to send one out that is the one that we're going to be using. So tune in to be coming up soon, but at least you have an idea of generally what that will look like. So hopefully that will help you make a decision. When it comes to, we talk about learning, what the learning piece will look like. If I'm sitting in class, I'm Lundquist, so I'm L through Z. I'm Thursday, Friday. On Monday and Tuesday, I'm sitting at my computer. I'm going to log into a Google Meets, and I'm actually going to learn I'm going to learn synchronously with my peers. But the camera that's in the room is going to be, we have these nice new cameras on tripod that we'll be able to get set up. And I'll be seeing my peers in the classroom. I'll be seeing the teacher teaching. I'll be able to raise my hand virtually. I can ask a question. I'll be able to still continue that learning because we need to get a week's worth of as much curriculum as we can get in. Now, we know that it's not 5 days a week. It's not like normal. So we need to continue to get more curriculum in, especially some of our AP courses where I know that it's a struggle right now to really be kind of, getting all the content in. Sorry. And then on Wednesdays, Wednesdays right now are kind of this work time, scheduled time. We might be phasing in and starting to work in some opportunities for, say, AP courses to have either a mandatory virtual course or some kind of study sessions. Maybe AP Chem or AP Bio or some of these lab courses will have an opportunity for students who are all virtual and feel safe coming in for just a small lab on those days. Those might be possibilities. I'm not making any promises, but those are the different creative ways we're looking to use Wednesdays a little bit differently to also make sure they're all virtual students and all of our students feel somewhat engaged. So that will be the learning, and then if you're all virtual, you're kind of just logging in each day, and it will not look the same, it will not feel the same. We'll still be using Google Classroom as our platform. Work will still be due. Those pieces will be important, but it will look different, especially for those who have, those lab courses. If I have a welding on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm in the lab on Thursday, Friday, there's a chance I'm not logging in, and then I'm actually just kind of doing some asynchronous work and doing some learning to get ready for Monday, Tuesday again of the next week. Now, if I'm all virtual, Miss Allen or one of the lab courses will probably be creating some different type of work to be done. to kind of go along with that. And maybe it will be logging in and actually watching her go through a welding lesson or go through some different lessons in the greenhouse or the like. So there will be they'll look a little bit different in those courses, and we have an amazing staff, and I trust that will be done. One of the big questions we get is about music. What's going to happen with music? Well, currently under Dane County guidelines, woodwind or brass, where you're blowing air out, and singing are not allowed inside. And so we currently won't be able to do that. Now I'll tell you, and had a great conversation with Mr. Jansen about this. DPI is saying one thing and the Dane County is saying another. There's a ton of research out there to say that we can do this safely. And so until those two organizations kind of figure out what their guidelines are, we're kind of stuck in the middle, unfortunately. And so know that our music department is advocating for at the state level, at the local level. We're all advocating for to get this thing moving because they'll be ready to go to do it safely. There's some great measures put in place. There's a big piece of research coming out this month regarding an aerosol study with those things. And so hopefully those organizations will start to see that science and follow that science. And so know that will hopefully be coming, and maybe that will change between now and February 22nd. We can only hope. Otherwise, I know that our music department putting together some great work, looking at the national standards and teaching things in person. Well, then when the students at home might be doing some of that instrument work. So music will look a little bit different, but I guarantee they're going to have a viable and strong curriculum as they always do, and they've done such a great job so far. So that's just a little window into kind of what that looks like. Students are not going to be changing cohorts. That is not something we are planning our numbers very much based on A through K, L through Z, because it's a K-12 decision. So we need to make sure that we're sticking within our cohorts. We will not be switching cohorts. Students who take an AP course take maybe what some would consider difficult, which I think for every student that level of difficulty is different. So it's hard to say what that is. You will not be able to say, okay, well, I want to come in for just AP chemistry, but the rest of it I'm virtual. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that. And that's why we're trying to see how we can use Wednesday a little bit differently. But unfortunately, we will not be having students kind of coming in for singleton courses here and there in an in-person manner, while the rest of their day is virtual. So when it comes to lunches and study hall, a lot of the conversation that we've had around what that will look like, we are still working on what those decisions going to be. We're probably going to be having similar lunch guidelines regarding juniors and seniors being able to be released. It opens up the cafeteria a little bit, and knowing that the exposure rate, with the students we have in the building when you're in a big cafeteria, we just want to be mindful of that. Talking to epidemiologists and other schools and what they've done, that's tend to be what they've done. They've released a certain group of students for an open lunch. Many of those students just go home because they don't want to be in the cafeteria, they don't want to be in the school, but they come home, or they're just in their car and they go get something to eat, because most of these are just drive-through. So know that is that's a thing that's out there, and we'll be thinking about that. But we're most likely going to stick with a similar lunch protocols we've had or lunch situation we've had in the past with kind of on campus, off campus. Lunch will look different. We'll be kind of lining up 6 feet apart to go in. Not going to be many choices. They're going to kind of go through, and we'll have videos of this, and we'll go through. Our cafeteria will be separated out. We'll have dots or something where students know where they can sit to be 6 feet apart, be using the whole length of the cafeteria. So that part will look different for students. We have hand sanitizer in every single classroom. We're working on some different options for teachers to be wiping down, or students to be wiping down desks in between classrooms to make sure that's safe. Every student, we're all wearing masks. I'm just going to put it out there. We're all wearing masks. That's critical. That is, I would say, probably one of the most proven, and it is the biggest safety measure we can do is we're all wearing masks. And know that I would say a mask is similar to dress code. So your mask has to have something appropriate. I would just prefer a strong color. Maybe you can put some, maybe athletics or something on there. As a Bears fan, I would say, I don't want to see Packer one, but I get they're out there. But they have to be appropriate. If you're going to come in with a Confederate flag, I'm going to ask you to change it. I'm going to ask you to take it off, and I'm going to have you put a medical one, our one that we have. We have masks here. We have the medical grade, kind of the ones that you see, the surgical masks out and about. The N95s, but the other ones. Again, dual 2 to 3 layers of cloth is preferred. We also have cloth ones. So know that masks will not be an issue. We can provide those, and we will provide those if need be. But I would say the mask is just part of the dress code. Need to follow that. Other safety protocols, our building has had the fortunate ability to be able to up our filtration system based on a Harvard study, and we have MERV 13, which really catches. It's actually MERV 11 is higher. We've been able to get up to 13, which we're really proud of, and we're excited that that will really clear a ton of the air, as we filter the air out, as well as doing an air exchange up to 8 times an hour. Now they recommend 5 to 7. We can probably get up to 8 depending on the room. Be a little bit chillier in here, so know that in the winter it'll be chillier because we're pulling air in from the outside 5 to 8 times an hour. That's a lot of time. But that recommendation is going to do a whole lot. I mean, there's the amount of research out there regarding air exchange from the outside is incredible. A CrossFit gym actually had 45 people in it, and they changed the airflow. And I think the instructor had COVID, and nobody got it. Purely, I mean, they were wearing masks, and they were 6 feet apart, but they also had this airflow, and they really attributed that airflow as being that next big piece. And thankfully, here in the building, we're able to do that. We're able to have a really good, strong airflow thanks to the good work of Dave Reed and his team, as well as, honestly, the referendum is a big part of it. We have up-to-date, technology here in our building. So we have a lot of safety protocols in place. We're going to continue that. One-way hallways, no lockers. So you're going to have to that's also why 4 periods or so a day is going to work, because you're only going to be carrying those things around. And so one-way hallways, we're not going to you can't be sitting around the hallways. When you come in the building, you're going to go right to your first period class. When you're done with your day, you're getting out of here. There'll be no lingering in the halls. Locker rooms are going to be shut down. We're not going to be using locker rooms, just like we're not using lockers. So pretty tight protocols in terms of safety to keep everybody safe, but we feel confident talking to schools from all over the state of Wisconsin of how it's worked and how it's not worked, and we feel good about it. I feel like as we put these things in place, it'll be really important. So we're excited. I know that hopefully I was able to provide a little more than I have before. We had that town hall last night. I even provided maybe more this morning than I did in that, just because in the last couple hours we've been able to make some more decisions and share a little more out about what's going on here in the high school. And remember, the survey is due tomorrow, so please spend some time looking at this. Spend some time talking to your talking to family and making the best decision that's possible for you. We want to make sure everybody's safe. We want to make sure everyone's making the best decision for themselves. And just know the survey is due tomorrow. I've included the link in this email that this is going with. So again, thank you so much for your time on this. And I'm going to do one last plug here before I go, because this is actually coming up. Registration for next year is coming up. So we are actually in the process now. In the next week or two, next Monday in stat class, students are going to be kind of getting a quick look at a reminder of how to register for courses and what that's going to look like, which it will look a little bit different, and you'll be getting a lesson on that on Monday. So Monday's stat lesson is really critical, so students, you need to be paying attention to be part of that so you know how to accurately sign up for courses. That stuff is critical to make sure that you get the course you want, and that's coming up next week. Already thinking about next year as we're back in person, doing school normal-ish as much as we possibly can next year. So that's coming up, and I need people to be paying attention, focused. That's a really big part of it. We don't necessarily have a final schedule, but the last couple weeks are coming up here. And so we need to make sure students are paying attention to kind of as our semester wraps up. I know that we've got some grades out there that we're struggling a little more than normal. Have conversations with your teachers. Reach out. Find a plan to get across that finish line and get that credit and move forward. The week of the 18th, so we're actually going to do 2 weeks in a row where Monday is going to be off for students. The 18th and the 25th, we do not have students, and we're going to go Tuesday through Friday. So we're replacing the Wednesday. We're moving that to Monday. So I'll also make sure that I have this in this email as well, but I really want to make sure people know that too. Then the week of the 18th and the week of the 25th. So the week of finals, per se, the last week of the semester, and the first week of second semester will be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday classes, nothing on Monday. So Tuesday through Friday, nothing on Monday for those 2 weeks. And then come February 22nd, we're rocking and rolling here back in the building. So I know I share a ton of information. I hope that this long podcast is able to provide you with some strong information. If you've got any questions, again, always feel free to reach out. I know that we may not have the answer everybody wants, but know that I'll always try to provide you the why and give you all the information I can. And you may disagree, but at least you'll know why we're making the decisions we're making. And I want to provide you with the best information, most up-to-date information that I can. Thank you. Be well. Take care. And I look forward to seeing everybody soon. Bye-bye.